Hey, what's up? Just got home from work. I look terrible, eh? Here's my hands. Now, let me tell you one thing. If you want to get a suntan, okay, this is the best way to do it. You think you're not getting a suntan through this dirt? Well, let me explain to you how this dirt works. This is rust, okay? This is off the ground. This is iron. Have you ever written down the word iron? It's the birth of an angel resident, the Omega, okay? The Omega angel resident neutralizes, which means he passes from one area of 4 into another area of 4, making it the 8, which is the 8 heaven. But man actually only has 6, because he has this side of 4 on your phone and this side the 6 on your phone. What the hell happened? Where's 8 heaven? Where's 10? Let me tell you how it works. 2 is Venus, up. Down is Neptune, down. And man, whoosh, over the top of his head, wears it this way, and then one on the bottom, and it creates the letter I. But when you're standing up, okay, your hips, okay, are in the position H. So now you know how you've connected to Venus and Neptune at the same time as Mars and Saturn, but all in between is God, Jupiter. Wouldn't it make sense? The biggest one is on Jupiter, God. The smallest one, he would be on Venus. But then again, who's on Saturn? Because the spirit of man says 76. The creation is 3 Earth into the 7 creation pass, which is the Magen David. Okay? And then man 6. We're always saying beta is 6. No, this is the way beta works. Okay? God, what he does is he connects 1 to 2. And when you connect 1 to 2, okay, from 1 to 2, and then down beneath, whoosh, over to 4. 1, 2, 4, and it creates the number 7. And what that does is it joins 2, 4, 6, 8, which is the black world, okay, versus the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, which is the red world. But the higher you go in numbers, it doesn't always mean that you're going to get like 17, which is red, and the 7 is red. They're both red, but yet it's black because it's in the center. 17 is 1 and 7, 8. It's a center number. Pick me a number on the right side of the keyboard, the left side of the board. Choose me a number in roulette, and I'll explain to you why it's there. On the left side is the Spirit of God. It's the angle of God. And it's creation of God, which is the gates of God, which is the Magen David star. He takes his world, okay, and he flips it over and over and over and over until you have a stop sign on the outside. Now you have these corners that are not on the stop sign. And the reason you don't have those corners on the stop sign, because what happens in Alpha Omega, okay, is this way, and this way. What happens on the corners of the stop sign, okay, the Alpha Omegas, this one hits number 3. This one connects 7 to 3. This one connects the 9 birth to the 1 spirit. But you notice I didn't go out over here? And the reason I didn't go out over here is because this angle actually cuts through the 1 because the 2 is connecting to 4. The 2 is the middle world connecting this side to this side. So 2 and 4 connect to 6, and then 6 and 2 connect to 8. You see the way it drew all those 7s in there? Okay. The other thing is inside this, when you bring the octagon into its pleasure route, what actually happens is, I didn't get this done right, but this is what happens. Okay. You see, there's the pentagram here. I didn't design it well. It's the Magen David, if you see, Magen David. At the same time, there's a pentagram over it. And what happens is when you put 2 pentagrams, excuse me, I'm sorry, not a pentagram, okay, a Pontiac sign. I call it the Pontiac sign because I don't know what sign it is. I'll show you what it looks like if you want to know. It's that over here. You see, because all these keep, let me hold on to this, okay? So now you see the wolf. Now let me show you something about the wolf. I've been telling you about these numbers for months. 56. Why? Because you see the X in the center. The Magen David has an X on this side, an X on this wall. Mind you, if you keep turning the Magen David, if you draw it properly, turn the Magen David, turn the stop sign, no matter which way you stop, they're always going to be right, just about, as long as you keep the flat part on top. And I haven't got into snowflakes yet, because you think that the snowflakes are all actually different. One of the reasons for the different kind of snowflakes is because of this. As it passes through the matrix and starts to freeze, pending where that flake passed, is pending on what that flake is going to look like on the interior design. And then there's the exterior design, which is basically, to me, all the same. It's a mug and David. Not only that, if you take a look at some snowflakes, and I have downloaded some, and I don't have them with me right now, I'm not going to go get them, I'm sorry. I create the heart, the spade, the club, and the diamond. Everything is so easy to create for me that it seems like everything actually fits. Well, that's why it's so easy, because it does fit. Now, the question is, are we looking into the dictionary for the meanings and the numbers? Well, the numbers are easy. They are where they are because that's where they are. Just take your telephone and plug it up to anything. Anything else less than the 9 numbers, I'll have to give you an introduction to how they connect. You see, in this world of the stop sign, right, you got to count the corners that were cut off, right? If you put back the corners, I'm trying to look for something over here. If you put back the corner on the stop sign, it'll be the corner of the dice that'll fit right on it. When you slice it off, and when you slice it off, you got 1 side that you see, 2 sides that you see, and 3 sides that you see. I wonder what's 3 sides. Probably, I would call it a trilineum trinity of God. A 3-sided pyramid. Wait a second. It's got a point. There's a point to the matter. Wait a second. Is there a floor? Or should we just cut the point off and use it as a blowhorn? What are we going to do with that point? We're going to leave the point right there. Just going to talk about the floor. So you got 1 on the floor, 1 at the point, and then you got 3 corners. 3, 4, 5. So that's a perfect 5 God, right? Oh, what about in the center? So you know what they did? They invented the Pontiac design. And this Pontiac design, okay, what it does is it takes the regular triangle, okay, which everybody has seen this in multi-mark already. You've all seen multi-mark. Everybody knows how multi-mark works, right? The multi-mark. Well, what happens is this is a slice in here. The minute you slice that out, this turns into an ace. Up one way, down the other way. I added the triangle, okay? Just slip this one out here, and you got your ace, because you have the point here. And the point is not there for no more than a reason, is to get the distance between here and here, and here and here, and here and here, all the same. So they raise the point. So automatically, because the point is there, we can now put a line from this side over to this side. Because every time you angle something, there's going to be X's and marks. At these marks, you can put a line through it. Okay? Depends which ones it is. Because some of the marks, there's a dot on it. And the dot is because, where am I over here? And the dot, if I hold this too long, I'm not going to figure it out. Anyways, we're going to jump on to something else. I want to show you something. Anybody see the number 4 here? L1. Number 4, 7, 1, depending the angle you put it on. If I draw it up to this corner here, or if I draw it up to here, the difference between here and here, okay, is that the one spirit comes in here and it gets sliced this way. Okay, I mean the number 1 gets sliced on an angle because 2 joins 4. The same way as 7, 9, and 5 all get sliced on an angle. Because 9 is not only 9 of 1, it's 3 creation. 3, 6, 9, there's got to be 3 pieces to this 9. And one of the pieces is to get the spirit, which is number 1, but it passes into man, which goes through the blowhole, which looks like a 0 because it's God's number. It's the passage to all. So then you have over here, and this corner is creation. Angel, that angle it means, it's not actually the angel, it's the angle. Angels, angles, guess what? They both exist. And the stars in the sky, right? I still believe there's someone in them. You see, in most of the planets, you see, we're the only humans that live on the earth to rust on top, taking the earth out of the ground, filling us with water, fruits, vegetables, same earth out of the ground, and now we rust above ground. How many fish you know rust? They only get ick and sick. So what do you think happens? First of all, they don't use the same bodies. We had to use the bodies that came with this planet. And on this planet, it's a lemon and a lime. Some things rust and some things don't run. Things break on this planet, okay? Things cannot break as a molecule of knowledge, okay? Now the question is, what will you do in your whole life? Stay on the shelf because you're a brain? You're a brain. Stay on the shelf. No, they put us in bodies. Not just put us in bodies, they ask us. They want to know what we want to do. And sometimes if we're bad angels, well, We have no choice. And we have to pass as much time as we can on this planet to revise our thinking between ourselves, now 9 human omega, okay, and not an angel anymore. But on the other side, okay, there is help. Okay, now are you actually two? Is there a double? Who's actually up there? Well, according to my information, if you're a male, all brains are female, okay, your waiting mate will be your mate. Because in heaven, you know what? Sometimes we might have to accept that there's a chance there ain't no sex. So as fast as you're male, you might be female. So depending on who you run after, and don't forget, if we're only brains and marbles, you're going to have to check the color of that marble and which way the lines are going to really systematically figure out if you're going to be gay and which marble you're going to set up with. Hey, Mr. Marble, how's it doing? We'll go down to maybe Earth. You want to go to Earth? I want to go to Earth. So listen, this is the code word, okay? The code word is MrTacpans. And what's your code word? Oh, Mrs. Tacpans. Oh, very nice. So Mr. and Mr. Tacpans come from heaven, already and married, and come to Earth to see whether or not they can find each other's true love. But they don't worry about the body. It's all about the mind. They don't care if you sleep with somebody else. It's a body. They want to know how far you can go in attaining the best part of your mind. Like I said, your mother eats, that food comes from somewhere. I wonder where. Does it come from the sky? Sure, it's the rain. Does it come from the ground? Sure, it's the earth when it pushes through and brings itself life from the earth. We eat that, and our organs, a lot of them, repair themselves in the first 7 years, and all those that lag on, the part of the body that does not repair itself in 7 years, and it takes 11 years, so you fall 4 years behind, and 11 years, and you're 4 years behind, and 11 years, and you're 4 years. By the time you're finished, okay, you would be 11 years times 9. That's why I did it, because you don't want to come out to 10. You always want to come out to 9,999. Because at 9999, you're here. Okay? If you get to here, you're dead. You lose your spirit. Because you're 911 over here. You're 11, 9. X, 1, X. When you're alive, you got the one spirit. Well, was it on this side or this side? It was on this side. So you got the one spirit. You're trying as hard as you could in the Olympics. No matter what, there's absolutely no way to touch 10, because you know 10 is death. But you don't give up. You try as hard as you could. That means whatever you get from as hard as you could is 9.9 because you tried your best regardless of the results. And it's not only how hard you tried to do, but how you used your mind to try how hard you did. Whatever the results, like I said, they're fun. Look, I did bad, I can try harder. Look, I did good, but that's not good. You get too good, you sort of stall over here. You gotta always want to be the best. Doesn't matter if you are the best, and it doesn't mean to be the best and not to treat anybody well. Because if you become the best in what you do, and you're not treating anybody well, you ain't worth shit. Let me tell you that. You ain't worth shit. When it comes to family, you start to learn how to just shut your mouth and look over things. And eventually in time, if nobody else listens, they're stupid. And it's too bad to have our family members that are so stupid. And sometimes you want to say something, but then they say to you, hey, you're bipolar, and what do you know? And what are you talking about that for? And so how can I correct somebody when they're correcting me? Anything that would come out of me would actually be wrong. Because in their mind, before revision of understanding of the actual intellect of the person, they're already deciding their own, what they think through their own mind and their own judgment based on what? I have no idea. And that's not our business what their judgment is based on. Unless we're in business together. This is where it all changes. That's why in life, in Quebec, you get FF plates or X plates. These are all explanations of how the creation came about to be. The F is for business. It's the face. It's the baby's face. BF. 26, baby face, Facebook, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go. BF, good rich. Beta, friend, God. Beta, face of God. We're all on this planet. So anyways, before this and after that, I was over here talking about how 2, 4, 6, and 8 come together. And one thing about 2, 4, 6, and 8, okay, I'm going to write this down over here, is this. This is what it has to look like, okay? One of them, if I drag a line here, it'll be the I. If I drag a line here, it'll be the H. The reason for this is 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 8, 6. 2 and 4 is 6. 2 and 6 is 8. 6 and 4 is the totality of 4 and 2. Why would I say that? Because 6 and 8 is 14. Okay? 4 and 1 is 5. 2 and 4 is 6. 6 and 5. 6 and 5. This is the wolf. This is the communication. The 5 God. Why? Because he's here, and he's here, and he's here, and he's here, and he's here. And he's the 6th God because he's here, and he's here, and he's here, and he. You understand what I'm saying? He's everything. But he's the 6th God because he gave us a spirit. And that spirit next to an X, right? Next to an X or W, okay, if you want to look at, it's this. This is what it looks like, 9, 11, or this way. But you know why it looks that way? I don't really want to pull the paper away and do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to have to do it up here maybe. What was I going to do? You see this V here and this V here makes an X, right? Now sometimes now I just divided them. There's one V up here and one V down here. Okay? They're now divided. Now they start getting numbers. Okay? If I start giving these numbers, where I've divided it, the top part of the point here is going to get a number, and the bottom part of the point is going to get a number. The whole thing is, they get the same number. That's why you're always adding on top of everything, because things are layered up. How do you think they built the earth from the bottom up? Started with a small piece, made a bigger piece. It's like washers. Not washers and dryers, obviously. Pretty much of me. Just came out of the bath. Look at that. A little bit more, 3 days more at work, I might look like Michael Jackson. And I can do the moonwalk. In fact, not only can I do the moonwalk, but I can jump over the moon. And one thing about talking about walking on the moon, the only one that's ever had a chance to even come close to walking on the moon, right, was me. Because when the moon was out the other day, I turned my camera to the side and I put my hand on top of the camera and it looked like my hand was on the moon. So I lied down on the floor and I put my foot on it and it looked like the foot was on the moon, and then my thing shut off and I never got the video done. And that would have been the first foot on the moon. Maybe they were on the moon. But you know what? I seem to still follow certain terms that it's 300, 400, 500 miles up, and there is no more up. It's deeper down into the ocean, okay, than it is up into the sky. I don't believe they can fly to these planets, but maybe they could. Maybe they could. Another thing, there's a dark northern sky. And one of the reasons I believe for the dark northern sky is this. When the camera goes to look out, this is what they see into the northern sky. As the night goes on, this moves over, and it's always blocking something. It's like there's a dome over the whole thing. You know the way they move that eye to see into the sky? There's a dome that comes real close to it. Don't forget, look what happens to my hands. When I bring my hands this way, you can see the openness in my face. If I put them this way, it's another way. This way is Neptune and Venus. This way is Mars and Saturn. It's that simple. You can't, you know, I mean, if you're going this way, you can't go this way. There's a brick wall. 9 out of 10 times, if you hit it, you're going to get smacked up. Okay, so what's next? Nothing without this, right? I wasn't even prepared to do a video. The only reason I did this video is because of Will Ferrell music. He just got me pumped up. When somebody says I can do something, it takes something out of my body. Not that, what am I doing wrong? Instead of saying, what do I have to add? Because I always need to make sure. Primary goal, people must understand. Secondary goal, okay, if they understand, try to bring something out there that is pertinent to a will and a want from within. Not only just listen to the music and it's good. When you listen to the music, you hear what's good. You lie back and you try to get right into that music and take those stairway to heaven. Oh, and another thing is, I've got many theories for how many stairs there are to heaven. And it may only be 5 steps. Or was it 6? When you get buried, how far down do you go? 6 feet? Okay, so what would that make? 6 feet, 6 steps to heaven? When you put your foot on a stair, does your shoe pass off on the other side? Or you don't look at that, you just go up on your tippy toes? Or you haven't noticed that either? We mostly walk on our tippy toes, don't we? All the time, half the time, most of the time, some of the time. None of us, some of us, all of us, none of the time. Whichever way it is, you know I like to play with words. I love words. I love the ABC. I can do so many things with those letters. Oh my God. The minute you go to create, the minute you go to create anything, I didn't finish with this 4 yet, okay, so I'm going to jump off that and jump onto this. You see this over here, this 4? You see the problem with it? The problem is, who is it for? Oh, it's for I. It's for me. Now, the other thing about that is this is, okay, Jupiter. And you cannot put this all the way through. Jupiter connects this side to this side straight. It's a straight lock. And this side to this side separate. Okay? And when it's visioned one part from the other part, this will show a round part in this stick over here. So if you ever see the number 4 with the round little cut in it, it's because of that. Now let me explain the reason I put the 4 here. Okay? I put the 4 here because 1 goes to 4. Okay? In fact, I'm supposed to actually do it like this. There's many ways to do it. See the way I cross it here, but it's supposed to... Oh, let me do it properly so you can all see. Okay. Because you see, like, you remember I told you if you have to go in between the lines, it's not going to be the same thing. Every time you divide something up like this, if you put this in its own corner, this in its own corner, I mean, this is in its own space, and this is going to go all the way down to here. And I'll have to keep finding the middle lines because it's the in-between space where everything starts to grow. You see this, okay, there's a minimum, okay, of 8 of these and then 1 in the center. And then you have to start building this and the Magen David and the Pontiac sign and the pentagram and the triangle, and you keep with the octagon, and then you have to go to the pentagon, the inside shape, which, do I have that piece of paper on that inside shape of the pentagon? I still didn't finish with number 4, eh? So let me finish with 4 and then I'll get on to the pentagon thing. Yeah, so I finished with 4. Basically, it connects here to 2 and over to 4 and over to here. But it's 1, 4, 7, and to create this, it takes a 7 and a 1 to create the 4. So, I mean, how often is that? 2 and 5, 2 and 5 is reversed. 3 and 6, they can almost fit into each other, but not really. They fit into one side, 3 and 6. And you know what happens to 3 and 6? You put it together, it turns into an 8. But the answer is 9. And when you put a 3 and a 9, you only get a 9. Because the creation is your birth. Let me show you. Here's a 3. And here's a 9. Oh my God, now it looks like a G. Because I didn't keep it square. Sometimes you have to just write it square. When it's written square, why you can tell and sometimes not tell the difference between an S and a 5, because 5, like I said, is actually 1. Because God 1, okay, creates with beta. Okay, to create, he has to go on the other side of beta 2, okay, and put himself here as spirit, and here is the creator of the energy of life, the sperm of life. And beta puts it into her world. She takes it. They come into the number 3. They come into the number 3, okay? And this is not a world because the 4 corners are not full. And then when she comes out after being pregnant, she gives birth to a 4 and a 6. That's what comes out. Now the spirits are added. You add the 1 spirit of God from the 4. Now you got God 5. His 1 is in the center. These are his 4 corners, but this is beta's 4 corners. So he's 4 of no spirit, beta 2, 4, or beta 1, 5, or just beta 4, 5, or beta 3, 5. It didn't really matter, but this is what it is. But when it's turned this way, it's a completely different world. So we got that done. We got that done. Oh, I got something here. I got something here. Look the way, I did this many, many times, but look the way it fits in perfectly. I didn't go on the line, but if you look, diamond in the corner, diamond in the corner, I didn't draw it properly, diamond in the corner, and it's not drawn properly, diamond in the corner. 4 diamonds, okay, triangle, triangle, delta 4, delta 4, delta 44, because this is the place of the angle, okay, and 6 man. 6 here, 6 here, 6, 6. Now, everybody asks why 6, 6? Because the pentagram, okay, has 2, 4, 5, 6 places in it. Its belly in the center is cut up, so the point is up, which connects, like I told you, because the point is up over here, over, where is it? Over here, because the point is up, it's going to connect to another one. Beta's point up, point down. Now I lost myself where I was. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So we were talking about this in the 44 and the pentagram, how they get their numbers. I'm trying to find it. So anyways, it's done like this. And all I have to do to do that pentagram is go from the bottom. See, there was this one down here, this V down here, and that V up there. So I take the V up here, and I bring it down to the second V. I start in the first V in the center, and I bring it down here. And this is what makes that pentagram. It does not make the pentagon. It does not make the Pontiac sign, but I'm going to try to see if I can draw this. I mean, everybody knows that this is a triangle, and there's this triangle. Flip this triangle over, and it fits right here. This triangle that's flipped over goes right here. That's where it has to go. You flip it back over, it looks like the pentagram. You put it back, it's a regular triangle. Because my what's it called are off. Inside of here begins with the soccer ball. And pucks and balls and hockey and strings and tape and whatever you want to talk about. Material and earth and carpets and carpentry. Whatever you want to mention, there's going to be a calculation of some sort somewhere. Anyways, we're going to leave it at this. I think there's a chance. Can I take a shower now? I'm completely... What? Oh, no answer. I guess no one's home. When was the last time somebody came here? Oh, no, that was to get weed. What about that other time? Oh, no, that was to get hash. What about the other time? Oh, my God, I want to forget about the other time. My cat attacked the dog. It was a big fight in the house. So what did we get over here? What have we done? There's just so many things, so many things. So I started with this, I didn't finish. The reason for this is because the stop sign is flat here, 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 and here. That's the 4 beta world. In the corners, where the Q is supposed to be, the omega is there and creates the Q sign because this goes out of the corner because this is an X and goes corner to corner to corner to corner. The X equals to a square. And the inside 2468 even beta world equals to a diamonds are forever. This is what the start of the snowflake is all about. Except what happens is instead of one flake going in, one flake goes in, the other hand goes out. And if you ever look, there's 6 arms. There's never 8 arms. You can't put 8 arms. How would the snowflake come down? We're the 8th arm. We're 6, okay, plus 1 spirit and 1 heaven. Oh my God, that makes 9. Well, that's one way to get to 9. We can be in the beta world, in the two worlds of 7. 2 worlds of 7. That would be 9 also. Well, what about 3 and 6? Oh, that's creation of man. That's us. What about 4 and 5? Wait a second. Wait a second. Can't be 4 and 5. That's 4 and 5. And there's nothing left to make 9. Do you know what this equals here? The O equals 20, the X equals 25, total is 45. Add 1 to 9, the total is 45. And that's all you need when you play pool. The 1 ball and the 9 ball and the spirit of the world begins. You do not have to enter any more balls. Anyways, for this and for now, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to the Black Forest, smoke a little joint, go into the shower, and veg out. Right now, I have a new way of learning. I just started it yesterday. It's not easy to do, but during the day I have to, as much as I could, completely not even let myself ride in my mind. Because it does it anyways. And I come to work and I have a pen and a book and I write down. When I come home from work, this is what I come home with. You know, what are you doing, writing or working? Oh, fuck, I'm doing both of that. Are you writing for me or are you working for me? I said, well, you're my brother. I go, I don't work for my brother. I go, well, you need a helping hand? He goes, sure. I says, okay, I'll be here. So I showed up last year and I never left. Well, for a couple of weeks, of course. I always go a little berserk in the wintertime. I'm bipolar, man. They tell me that I shouldn't even be working or doing anything because I don't have the capacity of concentrating for an extended period of time. But every time I do this, and I know the will of God is so strong, and I know there's more and more and more, and it seems like I can do this till the day I die. I have something to do for the rest of my life right now. It's the love of my life, and I love it. I love it. It's insanity. It's total insanity when I've devoted my whole life to it. But then again, so did Job devote himself to God. Don't worry, I get out. And I'm not stopping to smoke weed because God might say don't smoke it, because according to my calculations, and if you want, I'll do that next, I'm going to do you a drug test with numbers, and we're going to see which drugs come out. And I'd like to find out if we get number 56 out of marijuana or weed. So I'm going to mix up all the words and come back and do another video about this, because this is totally insane that this king shit. I'm sorry to swear for all of you women out there, because I really like to get a lot more of you, because when the women start understanding, the word starts to spread. You understand what I'm saying? The women, they know how to spread a lot easier and better than anybody else. Can you do the splits? Let's take this AAA banana from Canada and give it a cadeau, which means a present. Do you know why cadeau? Or Gaddafi? Because the word Gaddafi or cadeau means the present of pie, and that is the introduction of the spirit into the creation world of 6 man. Did I blurt that all out too quick for you? Am I going too quick? Am I just trying to get a word in just to make my mouth work? You're absolutely right. The more my mouth works, the more my mind can go and just shoot it out onto the screen. I feel an emptiness, a clarity that's within inside of me. I feel better. I don't have to remember this anymore. I've done it already. And it's okay to repeat. I try not to, but I do it anyways, because I've been drawing the XO for the rest, for the balance, for the next, and I've driven, and it's always XO all over the place. And when it comes to colors, who can forget Christmas of yellow, right? Yellow in Christmas time, it's gold. See a difference between the yellow light and the red light? Now the green light of Christmas. But do you understand those little balls that hang from the Christmas hats and everything? Does anybody know what these balls are all about? This might be all about Jupiter. And the smaller balls, all about Neptune. And the green balls, all about Mars. And the red ball, all about Mercury. And the blue ball, all about Neptune. And the white ball, any white balls? The Holy Ghost. Do we hang up the Holy Ghost? No. We ask him to come in snowflakes, the Holy Ghost. So the snowflakes shall be white for Christmas. Have we missed any colors besides the color of rust? Have we missed any colors besides yellow and gold? What happened to the silver streak of the matrix, which is Jupiter and Neptune negative, bringing back the information that was given to it, the high and low blood pressure? It comes in through Venus into Jupiter, and then it goes out through Jupiter, through Neptune, and back to the top again. So we start over, and I go to sleep tonight, and I pray in the morning, or I pray in the night, and I pray every night before I go to bed, from the north, from the east, from the west, from the south. May it be a club, a spade, a diamond, or a heart. I'm with you. And that's my prayer. Because within every single gem or image that I described is the totality of the spirit matrix. Raphael, 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. In the sigma of creation, sigma might not mean the same thing as you have. I have something else. Sigma holds up so we do not tilt over. Sigma holds from the sides so things don't fall apart. And sigma comes from the top. They look like cat's ears. They're the letter W and M. And there's a wing nut. Okay? There's a wing nut like this. and it turns. This is a butterfly nut, and it holds in these cat ears that are on top of what you see the mug and dovet or any one of the images I use, right? But the stop sign, the mug and dovet is in the stop sign. So these, what I'm telling you now, will look like this, and it'll hold it up. This would be 1, 5, 1. Okay, but when it's upside down, it means 10, because it has to have a finish. It didn't finish. It's got to spread its wings all the way from one side to the other side to have the finish. There will be 4 of them on here. 4 of them, m equals 1,000 is 4,000. Now we have a corner here, and a corner here, and a corner here, and a corner here. 4 corners. Now where do we get the rest of the time? Well, in Monopoly, if you get free parking, you get 500. So maybe it's 500 years. Or the center pass of Jupiter is 5. But that's for God's world. Beta's world, it's 50. And then man's world, it's 500. And that's why you get 500 for each corner. Not only that, the x and all the ways equal to the 10-10-10 world. And the passage through the 5 hole 4 times adds up to 20. And that's how Beta gets the number of the 20 worlds. Okay, but she's the 28th heaven. But she's only the 28th heaven of creation. She doesn't own really that world. She's the 28th world of creation, a mode of saying the in-between world that connects the spirit and God and the electric and the angel and the angles of heaven onto us. Okay, where else was I right now? There's so many things. Here's a thing they have in roulette. Okay, so now the way I'm going to show you this. Let me grab another marker here somewhere. You see this? If I draw a line this way and down, it's only going to make the L letter. 12. But if I draw it this way, that's the right angle. That says 7. Oh, I got 1 and 7, but we're only going 1 at a time right now. 7, backwards, okay, I'm going to use the L if I want. 12 and 7 is 19, equals to the spirit. 26 and 29 equal 55. 55, center spirit. Same thing. Over here, I have the 1 now, the 1 spirit of 7. So we add these 2 up. 28 and 31 is 59. 5 is the angle, and 9 is the birth spirit. Okay? Then we get into the center. We have 30 and 29, which is 59. And it repeats the same thing because it has to repeat because there's 1 here and there's 1 there. Sort of like, you know when they make that nyana, that thing like that? That's because there's 1 on one side and there's 1 on the other side. So if you look into the cards, they have an S figure with dots on it. That's what it's telling you. It's the expression of how the life is connected on each side. So at the end here, all we had is 33 to all of this. Well, since this is the 1 spirit of the 7 God of the passage, okay, of the 8 heaven, 5 and 3, 35, 33 is command and create of Christ. 3 times 3 is the 9 birth. 3 plus 3 is the 6 man. 6 plus 9, 69, the same as I mentioned before. 6 and 9 is 15. 1 and 5 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. The 5 of God and the 1 spirit that connects man. Well, I'm looking from behind, so I can't really write too well. Guess what? I'm going to take a shower now, and I really appreciate it. If I have to write a note, I will give myself a rating of 70. I don't really want to go too high. 71.8%. Those were the last 3 numbers. The 1 spirit of the 7 God of the 8 heaven, of the 9 birth. You understand what I mean? 9, 8, 7. When we leave here, those 3 are gone. So 3 gone out of 6. 9 minus 3 is 6. What's that percentage? I'm still working on that pi. I know if somebody, it's really, I have to study that pi, and hopefully I'm going to be able to do it before somebody asks me, and then I embarrass myself by telling them, pi! Let me go to the store and get some pi. Oh, you want some pi? You want 3.145? What? You want 3 for 1? And you're coming at 4 or you coming at 5? Oh, shut me up. Raphael 7286. You think this is over now in the constellation of Pegasus? I thank you all.